You may remember from a previous history course, probably in high school, the idea of the triangle trade. I mean, think of the shape of a triangle and then place it basically in the Atlantic Ocean. On the left-hand side of the triangle, you have the colonies, the American colonies, i.e. the future United States. And there you get the raw materials. Basically, you get like sugar, cotton, tobacco, indigo. And these products are going to be now going up the triangle, going northeast, going towards to England, all right, in the mother country. And there they're going to produce the finished goods. They're going to take cotton, turn it into textiles, for example. And they're going to use all of those raw materials, apply other raw materials they're getting from the other parts of their empire, and producing finished goods. And then what you do is you sail those finished goods back down the triangle, and now you're in Africa. And there you can use those those finished goods in order to trade, particularly for labor. This is where your labor is going to come in. African slaves. You take those slaves and you bring them over to the New World. So basically the bottom of the triangle, and then it's just going to repeat. It's going to go around and around and around. Raw materials going to England. England's going to take those finished goods, bring them to Africa, and then Africa is going to provide the labor, and then of course they're also going to bring the finished goods over to the Americas. But Africa is going to produce the labor where the raw materials are produced. This is what we call the triangle trade. It's a very lucrative way of making money. Now, after the Restoration, remember Charles I dies, and we have the English Republic, and then Charles II comes back and restores the monarchy of England. Following the Restoration, we see a more stringent mercantilism from England. For example, the Navigation Act of 1660 required that all colonial trade be done in just English ships. No more colonial ships too. No, they're going to say just English ships. And of course, it must go to an English colony or to England itself. Now, another part of the act was, remember our previous one where we talked about 50% of the crew being English? Now it has to be 3/4 of the crew has to be English. So they've made stronger requirements there. Another act they're going to pass in 1663 is called the Staple Act. Here, in this act, we're going to have any goods coming from Europe, Asia, and Africa that wants to go to the colonies, it has to go through England before you take it to the colonies. And the reason why, basically, you could tax it. It's kind of like, if you cut out the middleman, particularly, you see it always in the jewelry commercials. We cut off the middleman. We give you the savings. The fewer hands that the product is changing from its origin to you as the customer, the better off it is for you, because you get to get it for cheaper. So the Staple Act actually it's a money-making scheme in terms of the fact that you just created another level of hands, to keep our analogy, to raise the prices. So it's going to help you artificially raise your prices when it comes to bringing goods to your colonies. It's also going to discourage foreign trade, because now let's say you're here in the colonies and you want an Italian, an Italian silk tie or something like that. Well, if it has to go through England, then it gets taxed, then it's going to go down to Africa, then it's going to have to go over to the New World. It's going to make things a lot more expensive for you. So it kind of discourages you from buying stuff that is produced by a foreign nation.